impulse,
impulse, impulse,
impulse,
impulse.
Believe me, I understand the impulse to pull the trigger.
Trouble sleeping. Suicidal impulses. Suicidal impulses. Suicidal impulses.
How did you manage to access all this information?
Electrical impulses, electrical impulses, electrical impulses.
I spent my life trying to reduce the brain to a series of electrical impulses.
Easily achievable that we do away with all negative emotional impulses.
The Renaissance, the Enlightenment, scientific revolution. For 600 years, we taught you to control your impulses with reason.
You didn't have a suicidal impulse from withdrawal.
Well, then why did he crash the plane?
You're acting on your impulses even when it's outside your comfort zone.
The TGV-6 can withstand a greater projectile impulse than any body armor on the market, including full metal rounds.
Check it. This is a two-way headset with a camera I modified, typically designed to combat battlefield impulse noise, or in your case...
He was the only therapist I could talk to about my alien writing impulses.
kindergarten,
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 Kindergarten, kindergarten.
You don't remember this shirt? You made it for me for Mother's Day in kindergarten. Kindergarten. It's adorable.
It's perverted.
No, I've known them since kindergarten. They're sweet.
They don't seem right, no.
Okay, check this out. My mother made me wear rubber gloves to kindergarten, so I wouldn't pick up a disease from the other children.
You know, I've done this before. In kindergarten, I was supposed to marry Jason Sorensen at recess, but by the time my class got out there, he was already engaged to Chelsea Himmelfarb.
When I was in kindergarten, I recited Pi to 1,000 Places for the school talent show. I think I got this.
Nice trapper keeper. Faggot.
Believe it or not, she's gotten straight A's since kindergarten.
Good God, Leo, you hunting a bear?
You got a license for that.
I'm a bail bondsman, not a kindergarten teacher.
Did she tell you about the bake sale?
Oh my God, the kindergarten bake sale.
What's happening?
Let's see. Oh, well, we have been filling out the world's most ridiculous kindergarten application for Cole.
I'm concerned about you. Like the time I had to step in before Charlie McGlinch kicked your ass. And that was...
Charlie McGlinch?
Right, yeah. First day of kindergarten, yeah.
Which crime I ever dreamt of invading. Last city they would come to would be Vegas. And every kindergarten student knows that if the mob ever did come to town, the last hotel to be tainted would be the...
I wish I wanted to be a chef, or a ski instructor, or a kindergarten teacher.
Associate.
Associate, associate,
associate,
associate.
You've got henchmen in your cell? Cool.
We prefer the term associate.
Fung?
Hello, dear.
Hey. Hi. From Galway Stern.
You can go in. Great. Your associate's already in with Mr. Pincus.
Our associate? Associate?
It's in there.
Mr. Dobbs, I'd like to introduce you to my associate, James Maine.
Mr. Maine.
Hey, I'm Dan, the security man.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Hey. What's up? Hey, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't see you back there.
It's my associate, Bob. Actually, he's my brother. He's a simple.
I know the wedding hasn't been the smoothest. Do you seriously think, under any circumstances, I would allow my daughter to associate with you, the backpacker?
And now, since we've had a little change of plan between the police showing up and you sucking out all of my associates, I want you to break into the vault.
Timothy Harris, location manager.
Marianne Boyd, screenwriter. Rachel DeWart, production designer.
Sean Bissett, associate producer.
All right, let's go make a movie.
You're harassing a U.S. attorney. I want your name so I can charge you with slander.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's Neil Caffrey. I'm Agent Burke's criminal informant. I'm also an associate of Curtis Hagan, and I stole the coins you were paid with.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Rebecca Lowe. Who referred me?
An associate? From Zurich?
I'm not a Fed.
Peter Burke, FBI. This is my associate, Neil Caffrey. This is my Mozzie.
And who are you?
He's my associate.
You leaving me with him? He's an animal.
But that's what makes him such an effective and loyal associate.
I want you to go to Turkey and track this woman.
Who is she?
Former associate of Nikita's, someone she became rather close to during her time at Division.
She and her associate killed half of my men. I cannot let that stand.
Grain. 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 Grain.
Grain.
Without no details, you never know what grain might be useful.
Have you ever reaped the grain? The grain? The grain? Was anyone in House Tyrell?
Body wins. I get caught selling a grain of salt for you. The girl puts marker on the outs.
There is something about the texture and the grain structure of film.
Sexual assault on a pinball machine. Oh, it's grain alcohol and peach schnapps.
Green salad. No broccoli. No vegetables. No bread with 7 grain.
So is this what happens with men? Just a grain of strife in the relationship and suddenly you're knee-deep in your ex?
This barbarian
Costume from the grain store.
caught squealing from the grain store.
What we have here is a 40-grain high-performance cartridge with a tungsten carbide core.
I didn't find 1 grain of carcinoma. He had a bone graft in his hip, healed beautifully.
Rick knows every fine grain of said shit.
Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic. Enthusiastic. Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Let me say first that the Floyd campaign is still very enthusiastic about you filling the open seat for Supreme Court Justice.
I can't promise I'll allow the actual burglary, but I'm glad to see you so enthusiastic. So enthusiastic. So enthusiastic.
I cannot believe that it's your birthday next week.
Your friend Jay, he's quite enthusiastic. Enthusiastic. Enthusiastic.
I actually hate him. What about you?
I guess.
Yeah. It's nice to see you're both so enthusiastic about our adventure.
Stop it.
Hey, you two stop it.
Yep, that's the term, kind of like a company.
Oh, I love Hulhauser. Don't you just love him, Celia? He's so enthusiastic and his hair is so neat.
Oh, I'm fine. I got my own passport. I'm an American. I'll be just loud, dumb, and enthusiastic.
Excellent. It's showtime. They want these assholes dead as much as we do.
They're a little less enthusiastic when we kill civilians.
The most morally ambiguous part.
Give her a chance. She's fresh, enthusiastic, has no bad habits we need to reteach.
It's a fast turnaround. We've had some very enthusiastic bidders.
Keep trying.
I practiced with Arizona last night. She made a much more enthusiastic Derek.
I find that hard to believe.
Okay, maybe she's not that enthusiastic about it, but I told her you were coming.
Left something in the truck. Be right back.
So, he's certainly enthusiastic, huh?
Allow.
Allow. Allow. Allow. Allow.
I need to give them a real shot.
I cannot allow this. Cannot allow this. Cannot allow this.
Allow me, allow me, allow me to buy us all a drink.
Without that certainty, I cannot allow a jury under my purview to subvert the First Amendment.
Someone terms on both sides have to be on it. If they're not and I allow that, I'm asking chaos to take control of my life.
I've got 9 active duty soldiers on that jury. I will not allow you to waste their time.
Is there something wrong? I don't think so. Is there? I think I'd like to leave now. I'm afraid I can't allow that, Mr. Dolan.
But in court, we do have to go by the rules. Let me ask something I think Mrs. Florrick will allow me to ask.
And just when he's about to resign himself to his miserable, doomed fate, we allow the son of a bitch to escape with his life.
Some people are victims because they allow themselves to be.
That's right, Shane. Don't allow it. Eat the bear.
I have nowhere to go. Do you think that you could allow me to stay in your garage while I figure out what the fuck I'm doing with my life?
2 days.
This station is being built here because of its proximity to what we believe to be an almost limitless energy. And that energy, once we can harness it correctly, it's going to allow us to manipulate time.
Discuss. Discuss. Discuss.
Discuss.
Discuss. I've come to the university where I've taken the liberty of calling together a few of my colleagues to discuss your case, to discuss your case, to discuss your case.
The moment I did what I did, I regretted it.
I don't want to discuss it. I don't want to discuss it. I don't want to discuss it. It's past. It's over. You can't take that.
When you are ready, I will be downstairs. And we can discuss what comes next.
We will discuss the matter with the three girls' parents at the appropriate time. The decision will and should be theirs. In the meantime...
What am I being arrested for? Can you tell me that, please?
We can discuss this downtown, sir.
I believe what I have to discuss is a little bit above your pay grade.
So, how would you like to take care of this?
Well, we are just going to step right over here and discuss our many, many, many options of how to sort this whole thing out.
And that's about as much as I'm going to ever discuss past relationships.
Excellent plan. I wouldn't fault him in the slightest. Now, shall we discuss delivery?
The Rex, at sundown.
Please, sweetheart, Oliver. Walter and I have something to discuss with you. Come, please sit.
Come up. But Helena would love to take you to dinner and discuss the deal further. Oh.
I was hoping that I could take a look at the file and...
I'm not at liberty to discuss an ongoing police investigation with you.
Outstanding.
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 Outstanding. Outstanding.
Lansky, a Russian painter who died young in the late 30s. Outstanding landscape painter. Outstanding landscape painter. Outstanding landscape painter.
I am not trying. I am an admissions officer. I am just helping you try, as I would with any outstanding student who may have been overlooked.
And we're going to switch that cycle. We're going to start fresh, start anew. This is outstanding. This is outstanding. This is outstanding. If you turn some of this power into willpower.
Your wedding coming along.
Great. Great, she's a doctor.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Before we take this, we have a couple of outstanding questions.
And I've always thought you'd make an outstanding mother.
Months pregnant when the U.S. Marshal Service apprehended you in Australia for an outstanding murder warrant. Is that correct?
You two, on the other hand, were outstanding. Your country thanks you, and I thank you.
Avery suggested...
This procedure has had outstanding results for patients with vessels just like Mrs. Rissler's, okay?
Well, Mama, your driving has been outstanding, although not quite as good as my driving.
I noticed an outstanding warrant for suspicion of handling stolen goods.
Acquaint. Acquaint. Acquaint.
Acquaint.
Acquaint.
Mayor Weldon and Laura Cambridge were acquainted. I don't know much about her at all. She wasn't here very long.
Looks like you have your next visitor. I'll get out here and I'll let you two get acquainted.
Coca. Yes. I definitely think you need to get acquainted with it.
But have no fear. This particular devil and I are well acquainted. Here we go.
And remember, if you need any help, I'm acquainted with your finances. And I'm acquainted with your attitude. Don't say a word. Hello, I'm calling from Max's Homemade Cupcakes to acquaint you with our new Morning with Max's special.
See, I think you'd prefer that it did.
Are you acquainted with Eileen Morgan?
Yes. Well, you've been working for me for over a month, and I figured it was time we got acquainted.
Okay, right on. So, you guys have the rest of the day to get acquainted with your security protocol handbooks, waiting in your new digs.
Want to speak to the captain.
Well, he's presently indisposed. Wanted us to get acquainted until he gets here.
You haven't even asked. Yeah, I've read extensively on the gravedigger. I'm acquainted with the profile.
My name's Payne, and if your name's as accurate as mine, then we should get better acquainted.
I'm on my way. Okay, you've become acquainted with my office already. Feel free to use it for as long as you need.
Gap.
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 But it would explain the time gap, would explain the time gap, would explain the time gap. And it would be easy.
Maybe she can fill in some gaps.
Okay, let's bring her in.
Bratch, you guys?
I did find a gap in our timeline before the murder.
What do you mean?
Well, according to parts, right? Simplest I having one. So if we can fill in the gaps, the evolutionary gaps.
Excuse me?
It's a slight gap between your 8 and 9.
If we bridge this gap, I can see you.
That's packing paper. It's used to fill the gap between the fuel and the blast cap on a pipe bomb when the bomb detonates.
To block our signals, it's more like a pulse. It's not a brick wall. There's gaps, okay?
I'm afraid not, but there is a 5-minute gap when Chambers is unaccounted for.
And we were just discussing how to combat the rising wage gap.
But I've got a computer back at the lab that I think will help fill in the gaps.
Thank you, Caitlin.
I've had to learn Cantonese to bridge the gap.
Cantonese?
Persistence. 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 Persistence.
Pull himself out of segregation with patience, with persistence, with intelligence and thought, with discipline.
A gentleman of the county of Shropshire.
A gentleman.
Given your persistence, and your malign influence.
I mean, the verdict came, wasn't it, competent?
If you even had any talent. And that's if talent even existed. Maybe it was just persistence.
Relentless. And don't get me wrong, I was looking. I'd been divorced for well over a year.
Just took a little persistence on my end.
Well...
You taught her, didn't you? I did. Just as you teach me this game, with patient persistence.
Watson, I admire your persistence, but the reception is really...
Really? Because my phone's working fine. 4 bars and everything.
He was particularly aggressive in his pursuit of those who sought to profit from their hoaxes. Perhaps his persistence is the reason he now lies here.
You just gotta have confidence. Confidence and persistence. Okay? That's what I'm talking about.
You should be dead. I salute your persistence.
But with your persistence, I can't help but believe.
Identification.
Identification. Identification. Identification.
Identification.
Identification, please. Identification, please. Identification, please.
Security Team 6 to Life Sciences.
Identification, please. Identification, please. Identification, please.
Of course.
Charles, you've got mine, right?
Yes.
Your identification of Jared Howe has helped. There was a sighting.
Be released at this time, awaiting the family identification.
Serial killer. Police can soon expect to receive Miss Duvall's identification cards along with a taunting note from Beatty in the mail.
Any other form of identification? No. It's all in my sports bag.
Would you like to see it?
I'd love to.
This is Penal Area MS1. 446 requesting identification code.
I'm just getting some sediment from underneath his fingernails. Identification may prove beyond our grasp.
We could get lucky.
Fine. You weren't carrying any identification. All he had in his pockets was a set of keys, some loose change.
We ran his prints and DNA.
We're not about to tag the subway car?
Yes. I mean, no.
I need to see some identification. I'm gonna have to write you up for this.
Jared Stone?
Glimpse.
Glimpse.
Glimpse. Glimpse.
Glimpse.
Glimpse into her future.
Okay, here we go.
Good to see you, man. See this golden boy on your way in?
Yeah, I caught a glimpse. Yeah, I caught a glimpse. Yeah, I caught a glimpse.
I know not how it was, but with the first glimpse of the building.
Maybe I get a glimpse of something, anything important.
Fear is all I remember of my childhood. I have glimpses of my parents' death, but nothing of our life in Kenya, nor coming to London.
Moment. This glimpse of an awful sadness to come.
You'll see a glimpse of him coming down that hall.
Thank you. She likes the guy.
Might have caught a glimpse of a text message, quite unintentionally, you understand?
Oh my God.
So I know that any appearance of civility from them is but a glimpse of the men they once were.
Look like?
I barely got a glimpse. She remembers it so well that she recognized it from a mere glimpse.
Librarian.
Librarian.
Librarian. Librarian.
Librarian.
My mom was a librarian.
Was?
So I finally took Harvard shopping because
He dresses like a lesbian librarian. No, because...
Can I help you find anything, sir?
Where is the librarian? Librarian?
I'm not familiar with that title.
You're worse than the other one. No. Where is the librarian?
You're so crazy, Frank. You don't mind if I borrow Madam Librarian for a moment? I want to introduce her to some elite donors.
I got it. Here it is, the new Martha Stewart living. I ran so fast, the librarian said, stop running in the library. And I almost said, this is different, I'm stealing.
I don't get it. This is a little old retired librarian. What could possibly be in her safe deposit box that would be worth doing all this?
Hurry at that hour?
It's open 24/7 during finals. You can ask the librarian and the 10 other people who were studying there.
Was it a football game in the yard? You made a great catch?
No, that didn't happen. But the librarian told me one day I'll be a great catch.
You, me, even the librarian here.
She loves mystery, don't you, honey?
Our librarian reads a chapter every day after dinner. Actually, we're just finishing Death on the Nile, so if you know who done it, keep it to yourselves.
This is perfect. Where did you get this? Used to do the sexy librarian thing, glasses, hair bun, the whole bit.
The best? I don't know, maybe a professor or, I know, a librarian maybe? Why, yes.
Biology.
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 Biology. Biology.
It's not you. It's basic biology.
Really? Biology.
Dad,
No,
I don't...
who's dad? Who's dad? I'm Marcus from biology.
allows couples to have affairs without cheating.
Yes, but I meant it about biology.
Terrible. I have a paper due in English, an entire page of algebra, and a biology test I haven't even started studying for.
There's plenty of kids hate their parents. What makes it a big deal is that she should hate you. Playing the biology card doesn't change anything except where she lives.
Hi, how was school?
Got an A- on my biology exam.
Dad.
Every little mistake. I'm sorry. I thought that you could use a basic biology lesson.
Well, let me give you a basic biology lesson. You and I can't make a baby.
It's just we're dealing with alien technology.
alien metals interact with biology on a cellular level in a way that's impossible to replicate without a sample.
Make this Kim kid lose his focus.
It won't happen. He's not interested in anything but physics.
What about biology?
What?
You know, biology.
Let's go to the biology lab and find you some nice, yummy mice.
Dr. Herman Kessler served 20 years for killing that girl.
He's a biology teacher, no prior record.
Sometimes biology can turn on us, though.
Permission.
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 Counselor.
Permission to treat Dr. Lightman as a hostile witness.
Granted.
The girls heard that Sharon Galecki was driving Olivia. They lied to her and said we gave our permission. Permission. Doors closed. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to having to ask permission to have sex with people.
Your Honor, request permission to approach the witness?
Yes, please, approach.
I don't know.
Permission to redirect, Your Honor?
Granted. Period. The Council has already issued a writ of consent giving the Chancellor permission to carry out the population reduction. Not without my permission.
Well, with or without your permission, Carlito and his guys are dragging me into it.
Birthday, we gotta start taking this seriously.
Permission to come aboard.
Your Honor, permission to approach.
Not a judge.
I'll allow it.
Nope. No. Not without permission, you're not. I'm gonna call Mr. and Mrs. P.
Oh, wait, seriously, Mandy, do you really have to do that?
Permission granted. It's just gotta look clean. You wanna shake down this of August? You gotta be a good boy and ask permission.
Care.
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 Want to go back to your place or not?
If you're not gonna care about me for me, you're not getting any of this.
Off those bloody bones, they can't have carried it far.
Why do we care about that? Care about that?
He had 3 beautiful daughters, but I didn't care about that. All I cared about was me and what I needed.
Jasper was in good hands. Octavia will take care of him.
$5,000. And what is their connection to the man who died under your care 3 years ago?
Henry. Taking care of him whether he realizes it or not.
Watch yourself. Morgan, take care of your boy. I'll try you again tomorrow at dawn.
Okay. I'll take care of the deposit.
Yeah?
To take revenge.
I don't care about revenge.
You coward.
Is my gift to you. That is gonna take care of Regina.
Take care of him for me, okay?
Guild House over in Blue Island. We have a living facility for firefighters and their families that take care of our people.
Specialize. Specialize.
Specialize. Specialize.
Specialize.
Software company, we specialize in AI applications, I assume you know that.
This is my partner, Nick Burkhart. He specializes in unusual cases.
He specializes in giving people new identities.
You know, I work with some physicians over at the hospital who specialize in sleep disorders. I could make a referral.
Plunkett, you're a lawyer. You specialize in environmental law with a focus on forestry.
So I specialize in horse racing, hockey, and baseball, but we bet on all sports here.
That lists therapists and counselors, as well as several support groups that specialize in victims of violent crimes and women who have lost a child.
but in a very different way. This man specializes in murders that do not appear to be murders at all. If Moran was a sledgehammer...
Shaft is some type of specialized polymer which is stronger than your typical carbon fiber. This is a custom job.
Unidac is a small research and development technology company that specializes in seismic infringement.
C. Stein specialized in transmutation.
I specialize in finding them. Bakshi here, well, he makes them suffer.
My name is Phil Coulson, and I'm here to help. My group specializes in helping people like you who have gifts.
Local Chinese gangs that specialize in human smuggling.
Okay, we need a name.
Work for the kids.
Yeah, adolescents mainly, trying to keep them out of jail. Specialize in hard cases.
We specialize in cross-border crime. These kidnappers may have done another one in Florence.
Label.
Label. Label.
Label. Label.
Side effect of these arthritis pills. Read the label. The label. The label.
I did.
You printed a fake label, just to prove I'm a hypochondriac?
Did it work? Ah. Label. Labor.
So just come to my label and let me play your demo to my partner.
Look, we don't have to put a label on it. That's fine, I get it, but...
One thing, excuse me. This is from one of my friends. You see the label on the bottle. It's a non-alcoholic beer.
The jacket. I don't know. Can I look at the label? Sure.
Hey, for real? Don't let them head game hippies label you, man.
Like crazy Jake's here.
Right.
I'm not an alcoholic.
I know. The whole label thing is so limiting.
But unfortunately for Lynette, this new label frequently fell short of what was advertised.
In Piedmont.
Your vineyard?
Well, that's why I insisted on this restaurant. They carry my label.
No, I mean that she was actually wearing a Red Riding Hood costume and said so right in the label.
Is that true, man?
No, of course not. How would I know that?
We met with a woman from the record label. She says that she's your girlfriend.
What's all this?
Return labels for Eddie and me.
Air.
Air.
Air. Air.
Air.
The beach. Houses built before 1997. Clean air, clean air, clean air. I bet the schools are good. I hadn't counted on the dying woman in the living room, but...
You have a plan, don't you? It's not about the clean air, clean air, clean air. It's all part of a plan.
Charlie? Charlie? How about you and I go for a walk?
No. No thanks. Look, I think I'm gonna stay in today.
Come on. Fresh air will do you good.
Going off between the Marine Corps and the Air Force. So security clearance could narrow those choices.
The Air Force doesn't want us going through their dirty laundry. I may not see the air as polluted, but that doesn't mean it's not.
Nice office.
Thanks. I get a lot more air here.
Hello, Kyriagos.
Oh, Mr. Agos. What can I do for you today?
Hello, Mr. Gross. I'm thrilled we got you. I've been trying you on your cell.
Yeah, I was up in the air. Now I'm on the ground, heading to your office.
What are you doing there, Kalinda?
How are you, Dana? I was just enjoying the night air.
I wanted to toast your new venture.
My new...
Yes, your little rebellion. It's in the air, like Les Miserables.
Everybody get back! Get back, give him air!
You're an amazing lady.
And you're an idiot. Air out the van and keep your smoke private. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Encounter.
Encounter. Encounter. Encounter.
Encounter.
Point of intersection. Each encounter suggests a new potential direction.
It's shocking, isn't it? First time you encounter real wealth, encounter real wealth, encounter real wealth.
Come
jumped higher than I did.
No, I jumped higher to make myself bigger. Like when you encounter a grizzly bear in the wild, you...
These are the 3 basic questions that everyone I encounter is big are going to ask. How do we meet? Where am I from? What do I do?
And I'm ready.
Clearly, he feels prepared for the encounter as well.
After my encounter with what I now conclude to be a Grausen, I'm left with one undeniable certainty.
Here we go. I survived my encounter with Matanka Zambito thanks only to an ancient tribal ritual they used to hunt and eat the deadly temblon.
My only experience with drugs was an encounter with a pot brownie my freshman year, by mistake.
Because you hesitated. For you and Thea and even myself to have any hope of surviving the next encounter.
We only made it out of our last encounter because Pan led us. We need a new plan.
I had an encounter with a certain wingless fairy.
Well, the number on there is toll-free. If you encounter any problems, you can call that 24/7.
Thanks.
Replace.
Replace. Replace. Replace.
Replace.
He's really good at what he does. You need him.
Yeah, but I can replace him, replace him, replace him. You not so much.
Hey, Brody, I know I was hired to replace you, and now you're back upstairs. I just wanted to make sure that there's no awkwardness between us.
No, it's all good. We're both adults.
Well, look, I'll replace everyone, okay? I'm a better man now. You can trust me.
Don't leave him in charge! You're fired!
Okay, you're rehired.
Cells. A long time ago, someone figured out how to replace deteriorating cells with new ones. Today, it's as easy as changing a light bulb.
Are you mad? He was wounded. You killed the only man who could have replaced him.
The problem is we have to replace 3 key players in our lineup.
What's the problem?
Same as it's ever been. We've got to replace these guys with what we have existing.
No, what's the problem, Barry?
Daniels, will use my pen nips, please. There are other Medicis to replace Lorenzo, but Florence only has one Leonardo da Vinci. And look.
Sumac's not the only herb in the garden, if you know what I mean. Someone forgot to replace what we took. Someone's apologized like 1,000 times.
And what's all this?
Carlito told Sulla everything's on hold until they can figure out a new method to replace the buses.
Really excited by. It's, subtle.
I wanted to replace the hood, but Felicity said it had sentimental value.
He's a biogeneticist specialized in therapeutic cloning, growing new organs to replace failing ones.
Discharge.
Discharge. Discharge.
Discharge.
Discharge.
Back sooner than we expected.
Yeah, medical discharge. Got shrapnel all up and down my back, got a few pieces.
Did you discharge your weapon? Discharge your weapon. Discharge your weapon. I didn't start the shooting.
The psychs tagged him with PTSD. But they didn't discharge him.
You're in demolitions?
Yeah.
Early discharge, no benefits?
Smoke and electrical discharge in both tubes. Evac all trains.
Discharge reading, sir. Plasma cannon, the shallow shell, 7 miles up the coastal line.
Got shock breaks. If I go to a hospital, I'm arrested before they discharge me.
Fine.
You can't just discharge a patient without permission.
Yes.
Upon your discharge from the hospital, you'll be given an additional payment of $20,000.
You discharge that, you'll flood the whole engineering room with poisonous halon gas.
A good word?
They're going to discharge me, sir. I messed up. I'm fully aware.
Accommodate.
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 Flight reservations to Bora Bora. Rental of a room to accommodate 80. To accommodate 80. To accommodate 80.
They were getting married.
If he makes tomorrow.
And while we're at it, is there anything else I can help you with? You know, we can accommodate almost any desire.
Separate the twins. Put them in different classes. They're much calmer when they're not bouncing off one another.
We can try that. But if it doesn't work, we may no longer be able to accommodate them.
One level in rock and roll. And that is... think we can accommodate your little sister.
Miss Venega. Yes. Yes, I received your message, ma'am. I'm so sorry, but we can't accommodate you. We limit enrollment to the beginning of the year. I understand.
You sure you don't want a lawyer present?
I'll waive all that. My only stipulation is that I want my children to be able to see me answer the questions.
I think we can accommodate you.
To accommodate the location, we'll have to keep the guest list at about 200. Yvonne, will you follow up on the caterer?
If your client wants to do an installation here at our gallery,
he does,
then I'm sure we can accommodate him.
It's comprised of houses and dormitories with water and power, large enough to accommodate an entire community.
This is never going to work.
No, the plan's still good. It's just, we need to accommodate for the...
We are not going anywhere unless I'm convinced of our safety.
I'm glad we're still friends.
Really?
Oh, yes. It was a lot of work to accommodate you in my life.
Don't ask any questions. Well, as long as you're not paying me in credits, I'm sure I could accommodate your wishes, Master Jedi.
Dominate. Dominate.
Dominate.
Dominate.
We could dominate. We could dominate. We could dominate.
No.
And the role of the male is to dominate his mate, dominate his mate, dominate his mate, and to discipline her when she steps out of line.
Remember, it's not done mess about, so it hard and fast. Dominate, 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 and pacify. One final essence that will bring out and dominate the others.
For a living, I work at a job where I can get fired without notice. My favorite board game is Risk.
I happen to dominate.
I will destroy you at Risk.
No condoms. Or being dominated or role-playing.
I like to be dominated.
I did not determine that it would be my mind that would dominate our existence, but thank God it was.
You know, when one male dominates another, his testosterone level rises.
Only beasts that can kill me.
Must make you feel so masculine. To take a predator from the very top of the food chain and dominate it.
Her father's megalomania, for one thing. Giles McNamara had a pathological need to dominate and control every aspect of his life, including his family.
Yeah, fine. One more game. This time, play with my dominant hand.
United and here to win the fight. We're here to meet you, defeat you. We dominate tonight.